this is a good question to start with here, Joel. Joyce asked, what steps did you take to find those flights? So maybe you can give us kind of a walkthrough of your mindset,
Sure.
And then how you actually approached this. Use seats.arrow to start looking for these deals.
Yeah, let's share that screen. I'll give a quick walkthrough of this spreadsheet, and then I could do a quick background. Before I do that, though, I want to publicly disclaim, I gathered this information from seats.arrow. There's a link up there up top. You can go to jgut.com/arrow. You can check it out for free through that link. I have the paid version. I pay $100 a year, $120 a year. I forget what it is. It's noise compared to the benefit I get out of that service. So, considering I gathered all of this information from seats.arrow, I don't pretend to know all this info myself. I know Ian personally. He's a brilliant programmer, and he made it possible to gather all this. So go check that service out. We highly recommend it. We use it heavily here at JGUT. With that said, this is a spreadsheet. Like I said, I gathered this in about an hour before last week's live stream. Because of my lack of preparation, I said, I'm just going to give it all to you so that you all can sift and sort this info and tinker with it and find stuff yourself. So for those of you that didn't get the walkthrough last week, this is 4 different tabs that I just kind of lazily gathered with the seats.arrow tool. I gathered Mexico, Caribbean, Hawaii, and Canada all in one spot. And I literally just organized them by business miles required. So as you can see, you can get hundreds of business class flights for starting at 9,000 points. And they list the taxes over here in column L. So $20 and $90 worth of points, which can probably be earned with $1,500 to $3,000 in spend, can get you in a business class flight that probably goes, that's not a terribly expensive one. That's probably a $300 or $400 one-way business class flight. So pretty good return on that investment if you were earning those points. So these are organized by region. And then I went and did a separate search for Europe. Madrid, starting at 45,000. Dublin, lots of Dublin options. Asia, Australia, New Zealand. We must have a little data lag here.
A lot of people using that spreadsheet right now.
Yeah. Also sorted by business miles required. And then finally, Africa, India, Middle East. Those are typically the fewest, most far between, hardest to find. So, and that's kind of the case with all of these. You'll find the most options there at Caribbean and Mexico. So while that's waiting to load, it might just be from all the people looking at it. Let's go look at, to answer the question, how did I gather that? First of all, this exact process is outlined in the book. You don't need to join a more expensive program. You don't need to join our coaching program. It's in the book, and it actually shows you exactly how to do this. And earlier, Anthony, you asked, like, what would be a good question to ask? I would say do the opposite of your instinct, because most people breeze through the exercises in our book, page 19, page 50, and page 101. This is in page 101 of the book. And they breeze through it and they say, I'll try that next time I'm ready to plan a trip. And that's the biggest thing that makes this job 10 times as difficult. What you want to do is remember that this is travel hacking. We're looking for the best 1% of deals out there. And in fact, with business class, it's more like the best 0.1%, as in 1 in 1,000 seats have these prices, or whether you're paying with cash or points, roughly 1 in 1,000 business class seats have these prices. So if you go about this the traditional way, those are your odds of finding these deals. And that's why no one ever believes they're possible. But if you literally just go and spit out a spreadsheet like this, sort it by date if dates are your limiting factor, sort it by destination if where you go is important, and find dates that work and go then. It's that simple. But as soon as you say, I want to go on this specific date, that's what makes it more exponentially more difficult, because the odds of these kinds of deals being available on those dates are slim to none. It's very, very rare. So with that said, why don't we just kind of look, and I'll just give a quick example of the exercise we do in the book, of the video demonstrations we do over and over and over in JGUT Vault, and even more often in JGUT Lounge. So basically, am I logged in? Yes, I'm logged in. All I did was go and use the search feature. Now, just like we teach you to just leave the destination blank in Google to let Google Flights do the heavy lifting, I like to do the same thing with seats.arrow. So if I'm thinking that we want to take the kids to Europe this summer, I literally say, what have you got from all of USA to all of Europe? And that's a pretty big search. You're searching from hundreds of outbound destinations to hundreds of inbound destinations. That's 100 times 100 options times all of the different flights on those at those various destinations. It's a big, big query. So you're typically limited to like a month, if not 14 days. But this is literally what I did. So for the summer, I just searched for like a month from now, plus or minus 28 days. And then I added 2 months again. So that gave me pretty much the whole summer window, plus a little bit of shoulder season there. And that's all I did. So, I mean, we can do it live here. We'll see. It might take a second, but that's literally all I did. I could take this and export it to a spreadsheet. I don't bother. I usually just do all my sifting and sorting right here in the software. It's pretty intuitive, especially if you know how to navigate a spreadsheet. It's, you sift and sort the same way, you organize the same way, you run filters the same way. I put a few stopgaps in place. I only did the credit card programs that we recommend that have flexible partners. So anything you see, it's not guaranteed it'll transfer from your program because we don't know what points you have, but these are all guaranteed to be transferable from one of the programs that we recommend. And all I did was just sort by business class. So remember how I said these deals change all the time? Last week, the cheapest I found was $40,000. Today, it was $45,000 to Europe on the spreadsheet. And this week, it's $40,000. Probably the same routes, probably the same airlines, but something changed in their system. And this is why we recommend checking frequently whether you're planning a trip or not. Because when you find a flight that allows you to fly to Europe for, this is probably a $2,000 to $5,000 one-way flight in business class. And this allows you to book it with $400 worth of points that were probably earned with $15,000 in spend. And, a lot of people spend that in a couple months. So that's basically how I gathered the Europe stuff. I just picked the dates I was looking for. I spit out the results that I was looking for. I put some stop gaps in place. I said, don't waste my time with anything more than 100,000 points to Europe. I've never spent that many points to fly anywhere in the world in business or first class. I've never spent that many points. And so I just put that filter in place. I also usually like to put a filter on the minimum or maximum taxes. So for Europe, I prefer not to pay more than 300 in taxes. And we really try to shoot for that 100 and 200 range. So these are all filters that you can do. Ian, I'm sure, has plenty of tutorials. I haven't even needed them because it's pretty intuitive. And then someone asked, how do you spit that out to a spreadsheet? There's an export feature at the bottom that you can just export right here, instantly download that to a spreadsheet if you prefer to manipulate this data in a spreadsheet. But really, all I ever do is, all of USA to all of Europe. If I'm feeling lucky, I might use my home airport, but I'll be honest, we probably fly direct out of our home airport only. Like for international flights, it's maybe once in 5 times. We almost always position to the East Coast for Europe, for Africa, and we almost always position to the West Coast for Asia, Australia, anything like that. And so I don't even bother. Like if I'm so lucky as to find something out of Denver, great, I'll book it. But the savings are so significant, it's usually worth spending a couple $100 to get myself to the East or the West Coast. And then we take the long portion of the flight in bougie lie flat seats. So I feel like that's about all you need to do.